A lovely evening. Thank you for joining us once again on the show, Matters Horizon, here on KAFTAN Television. We're coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I do hope you've been having a fantastic Friday. Today's 19th day of September 2025. Well, I am Princess Ekeze Okoli, welcoming you to Matters Horizon. On this show, we discuss and, of course, analyze topical issues as they trend, whether here in Nigeria or outside the country. And as always, we have a group of journalists who come and discuss, basically chipping our own thoughts on trending issues. And so today, I've been joined by two gentlemen in the studio. I'll let them introduce themselves as we continue on the show.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Chukunalu Ike.
And I am Oprom Stephen. Welcome you to Matters Horizon today. So stay tuned.
All right, with that said, we'll actually be delving into the developing story between Omolaye, Sowore, and the DSS. I'm sure it's no longer news to you. But before we delve into that, I also want to bring you, just basically telling you, yes, the governor of River State has fully resumed office today. You know, he was supposed to resume yesterday, and a lot of people met his absence, and it kept us wondering what's going on. Could it be that he finally decided not to return? You know, some speculations, but finally earlier today he returned with lots of crowd. In fact, crowd I've never been seen before in the airport. Welcome him, and that showed that they really do miss the governor. So he returned and also promised a state broadcast by 6 p.m. earlier today, which of course he did, and he assured his loyalty to the president and promised the Rivers people that he's going to do everything he can to ensure that the state moves forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I can say it's a triumph of democracy, though I'm not in support of the declaration of the emergency, a state of emergency in Rivers State, but I'm glad that democracy is back to River State, and the people, they will have their way now. They will have their say in River State. I want to believe that. There's one powerful man. I've not determined what will happen in the next 6 months through to 2027.
Okay. Stephen, what are your thoughts on that?
What goes up must come down. Anything that has a beginning must have an end. Even the tenure of the governor will one day end. And I know all this is, the other time we spoke about it, it was all about, okay, towards 2027. A lot of issues. Well, we are looking at what the governor now, Fubara, is going to be doing. Some people have suggested that he should decamp to APC immediately. But it's all about calming the storm, the political storm in River State. I know he has to trade with care this time around, because his loyalty to his godfather is in question. So who knows what must have gone at the background? Who knows what they must have discussed? What that must have transpired? So those things may affect the way he's going to act this time around. But I know he will apply the utmost wisdom. I don't subscribe for him to resign or to leave that place. Nigeria is for everybody. River State is for Rivers. So he is a citizen of that state. He is not supposed to resign. He's qualified to be a governor, and let him take the bull by the horn.
All right, with that, let's bring you back to the main gist of the matter today, and that is, of course, the saga between, or should I call it, say, drama between Sowore and the DSS. Well, it's no longer news. What has been ongoing between court charges, DSS took Sowore to court, and he in turn also took them to court. Dramatic, isn't it? Well, Sowore, who is actually a human rights activist, a publisher, and of course a former presidential candidate, is saying that the Department of State Services filed a 5-count criminal charges against him, alongside Meta, the the family, or should I, the company or the parent name of Facebook, and of course X, which was formerly known as Twitter. Now, alleging, DSS are alleging that cybercrime offenses and of course defamation stemming from the posts that Sowore made on his Twitter and Facebook accounts. Now, they're saying that Sowore has defamed the president of Nigeria and of course also accused him of cybercrime offenses. While Sowore, in response, has also filed a countersuit accusing the DSS of unconstitutional censorship and overreach. Now, this has sparked lots of conversation across borderlines, with so many, saying that Sowore didn't do anything wrong, and some saying that, okay, he went too far. I think we're now talking about what is the line between free speech, freedom of speech, and crossing that border to hate speech. We have, I remember, just was it 2024? We had the bill on hate speech. We talked about that hate speech against political leaders or anybody whatsoever. Then we also have in our constitution that gives every Nigerian freedom of expression. But the question is, from the statement he made, he actually was responding to the president's comment where he went, I think it was he. My head is a bit full this evening. So he traveled and was making a statement talking about how Nigeria is no longer corrupt, how he's done a lot of things, to ensure that there's no corruption in certain aspect of Nigeria. But Sowore came out to say that is criminal of the president. In fact, he even advocated for a hashtag. I think the hashtag says hashtag, I can't remember the exact, I don't want to say, I just want to quote verbatim, but he referred to PBAT in his write-up as criminal for him to, that it's a pure lie for him to say that there is no more corruption. So the DSS, on the other hand, decided to follow suit. So there's so many things there's so many ways to look at it. First, does the DSS have the ground, what should I call, the right to even sue Sowore to court? Because if we're talking about defamation, then it's again the president. It's a personal thing. So I think it should be the president that should be suing him for defamation. That's my thought, though. Then on the other hand as well, we also have what we call, we're practicing democracy, even though some say we really are not practicing true democracy. But one thing that comes to democracy is freedom of expression. Remember, these leaders are our employees. You understand? We put them in the positions of power so that they could better the lot of Nigerians. But the truth is, as Nigerians, sometimes we forget our place. We forget the power we hold as a people, to ensure that these people we put in places of leadership to ensure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, and if not, to ensure that they're made accountable for whatever it is they're doing. But like they say, there's a saying in the good book that says, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge." A lot of Nigerians do not know their power, and so we do not talk. We just hope and pray. Oh, let God come and help us. God should help us and give us good leaders. I'd like to hear your thoughts concerning this, because it's a battle between, we're talking about human rights, we're talking about defamation, cybercrime. Where do we draw the line? Let me start from you.
Okay. My worry is very simple on this. The DSS, they are doing what they're supposed not to do. My opinion. Yes, I will be careful with what I will say tonight, because the matter is already in court.
In court, exactly.
Yeah, so, but at the same time, DSS is just leaving security issues to semantics. They are supposed to protect Nigerians, not only the president, I mean Nigerians. And they are leaving that security thing for politics. They want to police, as far as I'm concerned, they want to police politics. The idea is this: once we can get Sowore, then others, we can easily drag you, as far as I'm concerned. This is an an agency or government that is meant to look at anything that is going to affect our existence as a country. Look at the northeast, what is happening there. Look at the north central, banditry, mass kidnapping. I think it was last week or early this week, 40 people kidnapped in a mosque. DSS is not looking at that, or they are looking at that, but we don't know. But I've not heard of anything they've done so far about that. Look at the agitation in the southeast. Go to south. They still have their own pocket of one violence or the other. DSS is not looking at this. It's Sowore that they are looking after because of what he said. What Sowore said is just a political statement. What President Tinubu said, it was a political statement. So political statement versus political statement, security matters now enter. So I think DSS is focusing on the trivial things. Rather, they should focus on why farmers are not going to farm in Benue State. They should go to Northwest, Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara. Why are people not sleeping with their eyes closed? I think that is what DSS should do, rather than following after Sowore. Right from that, we know Sowore as confrontational person from the 90s. We know Sowore as a publisher. We know Sowore as a Nigerian. I have never heard of Sowore carrying guns, killing people around. So why should DSS be bothered about Sowore? I think it should be the job of police, if there is truly a defamation, something that Sowore defamed the president, or it should be the police that should take Sowore to court, not DSS. At this stage, DSS reputation is at risk, as far as I'm concerned. The respect people have for DSS, I think they are losing it. I know from successive governments, they do use security agencies to, like, let me use the word in the local parlance, relay their opponents. I think that is what DSS is doing right now. They are trying to fizzle people, silence people from talking. Because as far as I'm concerned, what Sowore said is a political statement, and even in court, to prove that the political statement, which is an opinion, is a criminal offense, will be difficult for them. And I want to assure you, or don't let me say I want to assure you, because that could be this thing. But this scenario could be that at the end of the day, DSS will withdraw this case from court. Because it happened 2024, when they took Sowore to court.
Yes, against Treason.
Against Treason, this after 4 years, Lateef Fagbemi, Minister of Justice, withdrew the case. You understand me? So at the end of the maybe this will be what will happen by 2027. You get my point?
Okay. Stephen,
all right.
Before you chip in, I just found the exact post he made. I'm going to read it. And he quotes, "This criminal at official PBAT actually went to Brazil to state that there is no more corruption under his regime in Nigeria. What audacity to lie shamelessly." So this is the bone of contention. This is the post that is causing this brouhaha. Let's get your thought on that.
You know, there are a lot of things going on in my head, and they are clashing. I'm thinking about Donald Trump, I'm thinking about Jonathan during their own time, what they received as president. Even before President Tinubu became president, a lot of people said a lot of things about him. Maybe something bigger than this.
Yeah, sure.
He, as an individual, did not take them to court. He didn't sue them for defamation. So why is this thing happening now? When President Jonathan was in power, the people even carry his coffin, campaigning against him, saying all sorts of things about him, and he didn't. Well, it shows personality, different personalities. But what I'm saying, I once interviewed a military personnel. I was, when a security personnel, not military really, these are the people we respect. So I was talking about security, election security, and I kept digging in, trying to find out why security personnel are always involved in election malpractice. I kept digging in. At the end, when I cut the camera, you know what he told me? The politicians are employers. You see, I think that's what the DSS is trying to do. When someone employs you, you take a battle that is not your own, and you try to please him or try to get attention. You have a lot of work to do. If you're idle, you stay idle. Don't show that you don't have work to do. Show yourself. Sometimes he says a lot of things that it's, to me, supposed to be neglected. I feel, from the way this thing is going, I feel it's political. It's a political game. It doesn't add up. It doesn't. I don't see it as something that warrants all this. I feel maybe it's political game towards 2027. It could benefit the incumbent president or something, because in politics they can play anyhow. They can play up and down. They can play dirty. They don't play neat. So saying all these things, other political oppositions used to say a lot of negative things about President Tinubu, but does it mean that people will no longer talk? If you lie, can't we tell you that you're a liar? Some people will tell you that. Some people will romance it. Some people will say it point blank. If what the president said, some people see it as lie, let them give us reasons why it is lie. And there are some things that are obvious. We don't need to make it. Well, they've forgotten that when someone is fighting about something, and you let's say there was a guy, let me use this analogy, you know, this Osu caste in the southeast. So the guy left his village, came to our village and stayed for a long time. He didn't want people to know that he belongs to that class. Then he didn't know that people have got to know. So he was trying to marry the people, a girl from the other side. So when he pushed, and someone now called him the name, and he started fighting, someone called him, come. See, there are a lot of people that don't know you belong to that class. If you fight now, people will not know that you are. Say, hey, it's true. You understand? This issue is, there are even people that have not heard what Sowore said, and they escalating it, and people are not hearing, and making Sowore more popular. People will support, you know, it's always between the ordinary people and the political class. The political class and the opposition would take different sides. The people will know where they belong. But it's unfortunate that our political leaders, those that are in power, don't care about what the people think. They don't care. They only know how to take what they want. I don't see it as reasonable for the DSS to be escalating this. Or, as I said, it could be politics.
Yeah, I think when you mentioned about Jonathan, it was called countless of names, and I'm looking at another angle again. Sowore was part of the opposition that time, right? Working with the opposition, you know, the president now. So I'm looking at, is it not like someone that uses cutlass to kill, and you see somebody trying to pass the cutlass behind you, you quickly, I think that is what the government is trying to do. But unfortunately, they are using the wrong agency to do that. For me, government can sue anybody at any point for whatever grievance you think that they've done. But I don't think it should be DSS, Department of State Security. I don't think Sowore have done or said anything that is against our national integrity or that will affect our security thing. What he said is against the president, and the president is individual. DSS is for Nigeria, even for Sowore himself. You understand me? So I think the problem now is because he has been used in the past to say the kind of statement he's saying. I'm not saying Sowore is not mature enough to be independent, but I believe, having known how media works, having known how some of these things goes behind the scene, either directly or indirectly, or his medium has been used in the past to say some of this such a thing to people in power, and him not coming out to say such a thing again. And so let's quickly nip this guy in the ball so that he won't escalate any issue, because we know how he operates, and I think that is what he's playing out right now. And for me, it's not too good for our democracy, because Sowore has national image in Nigeria. Globally, he is well known, at least in the US. I think he's a US citizen or thereabout. So if anything should happen to him, definitely just imagine what other Western world, Western media will be saying about Nigerian democracy. So I think the president should be careful with what he's doing, or the DSS. I don't think FBI or say, DSS is equivalent of CIA in US doing that to opposition party or the opposition figure in the country, except they have a criminal or something, something to hold against the person. But I have, all through this year, for the past close to 30 years, I've not seen where the Sowore stole money or he organized boys, giving them gun. All Sowore have been doing, revolution, peaceful protest, that is what Sowore have been doing. Speaking out. So I don't think it's something DSS should be worried about. They should go to the northwest. They should go to between here and Kene, what is going on there. They should go to Benue, just along the houses. They should go there. They should try to pinpoint, get people that are causing, making us not to have night travel again in Nigeria. That's what they should be doing, not to go after Sowore.
All right. Well, to you listening at home, we cannot begin and end this show without you being a part of it. So we're going to allow you call into the program. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter. Do you think this is a case, or that this case is signaling a sort of a shrinking the voices of Nigeria, or could it simply be an enforcement of responsible speech? What are your thoughts on what's going on between the DSS and Sowore? Remember also we have two social media platforms. We're talking about Meta and X, who are also in the suit because DSS also asked them to ensure that that post was deleted from their platform, but they're yet to do that. Sowore, on the other hand, also sued DSS and Meta along with X, saying that they should not tamper with his write-up on their page. And of course, for the DSS, do you think that, yes, they have the right to sue Sowore to court on that? Do you also think that the statement he made was defamatory against the president? Let's hear your thoughts this evening on the show. Our phone lines are displayed, so when you call, please do well to turn down the volume of your TV set, or better still, walk away from it so we can hear ourselves clearly. We'd love to hear from you this evening. So as we continue, now, this case is sort of hide-headed because one part, yes, you say, okay, I'm trying to express my freedom of expression, we have that. And then on the other part, do you think that statement he made was, how should I put it? Do you think it's disrespectful, or I don't know? Because as democracy pretends, democracy basically means that even the government itself is for the people. The government is for the people. They basically work for it. Just that, I don't know, sometimes things are just done upside down in our country in a sane environment. Leaders ought to be accountable to the people who put them in office. That is why in places, in the same countries, you see if you're elected or appointed to a particular position and you're not doing well, the honorable resign. Honorably resign, knowing that, okay, I cannot meet what I'm supposed to do for these people. So you resign, But in our cases, it's not like that. No, I don't. Do you know any leader who has resigned because they can't meet up with their promises? I've not heard of any leader. So it's not even. So it brings to bear that, yes, I think for me personally, yes, we have freedom of expression, but I also think that it should also be said responsibly. I feel that you could also make a point, say whatever you want to say without really being abusive if you ask me. Maybe it's because I'm not really I'm not really an abusive person. So I sort of kind of find it weird, but I feel that we can also express ourselves or tell our leaders that, okay, what they're doing is wrong. We are seeing you, we're watching you, you're not living up to expectations. We could say that respectfully without being insulted, if you ask me. But back to what Sowore says. He says this criminal PBAT is lying, saying that there's no corruption, that corruption has reduced in his regime. Do you think personally that corruption has reduced during President Tinubu's regime? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Do you guys think that corruption has really reduced?
You know, let's take it first from what Sowore said about the president. You know how Sowore talks. To me, there's nobody that can talk to you like that and you take it. Even if President Tinubu is not, if he tells me that and he's standing in my front, we dig it out, man to man. I won't even take him to court. I'll fight him. Street people will fight you. Actually, it will be painful. It may be painful, but the truth be told, Nigeria is the state. Are we experiencing state capture? You are a father. You can see anything. Your responsibility is to make things work. You get the good, you get the bad, and try to carry everybody along. It's not everything that is said about you that you react to. It's like you now want to shut everybody up. It's a state capture. It's not good, and maybe the way he presented it is what maybe is not okay. I know it's not okay, but did he lie? Did he lie? In Nigeria, our major problem is not corruption. Insecurity today is due to corruption.
Exactly.
Nigeria, I've forgotten the president that Nigeria is somehow something corrupt.
Fantastically corrupt. I think it was
British Prime Minister.
Yes.
Cameron, right?
No, Cameron. David Cameron.
Yes. It has affected every fabric of our life.
Every single fabric.
One of my.
Let me have you pause a bit. Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. This is Adekunle. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
I'm hearing you about corruption. Nigeria we don't enter corruption already. Even we are aware the truth of corruption. The thing I try to tell you is our judges, our lawyer, even our police, they are corrupt. We don't have security in this nation anymore. Don't let us fake ourselves. Even our president, even go somewhere here in Ogun State, see our road. They no collect education every year and every month. They no collect education, see our road. So, with nothing we can do on the corruption, God will be with us.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's still take a call, so feel free to call and join the conversation we're having. We'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, back to you.
Yeah, one of the person I worked under sometimes said, you know, something he said, we're winking at it. I said, what do you mean by winking at it? He said, for instance, everybody hates corruption, but everybody's corrupt. Every little opportunity you give anybody in this country, they want to amass wealth. They want to take it.
That's true.
As if it's an advantage. There is no way government or people in power, people in leadership position care. Well, we can find one or two, but people don't care about people or the ordinary man in the street. They just want to get rich. So corruption has affected everything. There are people that have not. If you tell them, if you tell them about Nigeria, they will be so angry with you. They will say they've not benefited anything from this country. Nigeria has not done the well. And some people will come, Nigeria made me who I am today. Yeah, they're happy. What happened? Does it mean that our resources cannot go around? It's not corruption that is making people suffer. Look at food items, the cost of food items. Most of the things that we use to call common food today are not food for the rich man. Before, before you can't see people selling gari and groundnuts and sugar
Together.
That's as a meal. Now it is happening. Look at yam that used to be everywhere. Look at beans that used to be everywhere. Go and price them in the market. It's no longer for everybody. There are some families today, if you go, you for over 1 year they've not eaten yam or eaten beans. Before we used to reject yam. What did you cook? Yam, I'm not eating. Now it has become a food for wealthy people. So if Sowore said that the president lied, it's rhetoric. It's not something we need to ask whether it's correct or not. We already know the answer. So why would they want to shut? If they shut him up, okay, from the aspect of insult, yes, the way he said it is not okay. But it means that they are shutting everybody up, because everybody will say the same thing. Those who are not benefiting from government or those who are outside the government will say the same thing.
Okay. Sorry, what the president said, was it okay?
You know, they always tell you don't demarcate Nigeria. Peter Obi said his own. They said he was demarcating Nigeria. That you love your country, you want to sell your country, even the outside world know that you lied. So because it is very obvious. When you go and say something positive about your country, that is okay. But the truth is still the truth. And when you say it, they will just laugh at you. Everybody knows what is happening. So it's not what you talk that matters. It's what the leadership is doing that matters. During the time of President Muhammadu Buhari, people were praising him. But today people have opened their mouth and they are now saying Buhari destroyed our economy, he did it. People are now talking. Why? So when he's in power, you can't talk to him, you can't tell him what he was doing wrong. Then when he now leaves, you now have the guts. Are we slaves? Have we been captured in these states so that whenever you open your mouth and talk, you are afraid that anything can happen to you? So if DSS is behaving like that, it's looking as if the administration has captured the Nigerian state, and that is not democracy. And if we are not practicing democracy, we are not going to look for which kind of government are we practicing, because we know other countries that are practicing democracy the way that you talked about. People who are not doing well, they resign. Something happened in one ministry sometime in this country, and people are saying resign, you failed. The man said, I have to stick down to make the corrections. That's the right thing to do. because if you remove him from that position, that's when he's eating. He wants to continue eating. So I think if me personally as an individual, somehow I don't. If you ask me, if Sowore talks, I see he's someone who is not serious about issues. You're discussing serious issues and you just open up and say some things and people will laugh. I see it's Sowore is not a serious-minded person. So I don't see the need, the reason why DSS is taking that issue serious and the president is keeping quiet, because most times people do things in your name, but it's not you. People can cause problems somewhere, but it's not you. But when you hear about it, I know that he must have had what Sowore is passing through in the hand of DSS. He can make a statement about it or just issue another. It doesn't need to be public. Issue another and that one will die. They should leave the young man alone. The president should bear it. He is the president. He can take anything.
Of course, that is why they said on easy lies ahead that wear the crown. As a leader, definitely you're going to get criticism, even if you're doing fantastically well.
Sure.
There are people that will still criticize you, and I think it's just normal for you to, sift them in and just do your thing. But in this case, in our Nigerian situation, I think it shouldn't just be. I think, like you mentioned, the DSS are sort of have misplaced priority where they leave what they're supposed to do, and it's a case of your house is burning and you're chasing rats. So I think in going forward, our leaders should really do better because the truth cannot be hidden. If we're doing well, we don't need anybody to tell the international organizations or countries that we're doing well. They will see for themselves. The world is now a global place. Exactly. The world is a global place. Now, let's also consider the fact that DSS is also suing Meta and X. What does this portend for these media bodies? Is it for them to start regulating political speech on their platforms? What does it mean? Because for you to sue these big media corporations, they're yet to say anything though. But I think it's another thing that should be looked at, because if care is not taken, if you remember, was it last year where they were talking about having some of these media organizations sort of have some sort of regulations, regulate what people post and all that. And a lot of conversation emanated from it as to why that should be in the first place. They gave reasons where other countries that regulate, they talked about regulations and all that stuff. The matter sort of died down. I don't know how it ended. But before I continue, let's take this caller. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Yes, my name is Mohammed. I'm Director.
All right, Mohammed, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Let's just make the next observation. Let me relate to your difficulty. It's like this DTAH KAFTAN is like somebody is preparing to like unlike before, where the signal is close, like very close to us. So we that are in far away medically, you have to relay this complaint to you. Tell the technicians, let them take it well. I don't know, say they are sabotaging everything.
Okay.
So
thank you for that.
Thank you. Let them take note. Let them stabilize it so that we will continue to be enjoying it, because as you are getting more and more viewers now, maybe it's handwork of one devil. We will continue to pray against the devil anyway.
Okay.
So, having said that, the issue on the matter arising, I don't have much to say. This country, all of us as it is now, we will just have to pray, and then the more trouble will not be coming in. One we have, we continue to pray, let there be solution, because all of us, either Christian or Muslim, we all depend on prayer. So this is depend on prayers. The prayer can help us. This is one thing I want to contribute, because if we are seeing what is happening around the world, we are still better off compared to some other countries. So we should not misuse the peace and opportunity we have and invite the trouble that will consume all of us. Please, I listen to all of us. I was recently in the Darfur region. I saw what happened to many of our Nigerians that are living there. They have to find a way to cross over because of the trouble in that place. It is very unfortunate. We shouldn't allow partners of that kind to come to us in the name of political difference, religious difference, or tribal difference. We should continue to remain one indivisible so that we can make a formidable team. All these our domestic problems are minor. The politicians, they don't even consider us as anybody. Whether they are making interaction and doing all that, they don't even talk about politics. They are talking about their business interests and so on and so on. When we come to the lower level where we don't even know how they used to manipulate it, we continue to fight ourselves, killing ourselves and all these partners that is supposed to be doing the wise people by now. To become more mature in political activity and everything. Why must we be fighting trouble to ourselves? Yes, the more enlightenment. Yes, all these Muslim pastors that used to preach the wrong thing in their churches, we should caution them. All these imams that are preaching the wrong thing in their churches, we should caution them. Let our people united as we were before. So this is what I always consider to be the first thing before any other thing. If we are peacefully living, happily living, then other things are minor. So this is my message to KAFTAN and to all our viewers. Please, may God continue to bless us. My name is Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Enjoy the rest of your evening today. All right, yes, we're still here to take your calls. We have still have a few more minutes on the clock before we wrap the program up. So we're discussing the place of freedom of expression. What is the line between freedom of expression, defamation, malicious statement? That's what we're discussing today between the DSS and Sowore. They have both taken themselves to court. As funny as this sounds. I really feel that this matter shouldn't even really take this much of our time. It shouldn't even be what we should be discussing. As a nation, having the DSS had the time to go sue Sowore, and Sowore in return suing the DSS in return. Is this the problem we are having in this country? Should this be what our focus should be on? We have so many things bedeviling us. If you go to some part of this country, they're not worried about this. They're worried about, I hope I go to bed and wake up alive. I hope we go to farm and return. We hope there's something for us to eat. Different parts of this country have different degree of problems, plectoral problems that they have faced, and we're having the DSS suing Sowore for the statement he made. The question is, like you said, in total, if you look at the statement he made about the president not being truthful in what he said about his regime having reduced corruption, is it true? Has the regime of the president reduced corruption? A lot of Nigerians will have an answer to that. And I suspect, and I all fear, that they may be standing with Sowore on that statement. But should the president, I feel that the president really hasn't said, I heard Wike saying something about the president being lenient, that he's someone who obeys the rule of law, and that is why he has not said anything to Sowore. I don't know, did you see that video of the city minister?
No, I didn't watch the video, but I think I
saw a bit of it where he was talking about.
But I think it's unfortunate that it democratically, someone who once benefited from democracy, we say that, you know, someone who is a lawyer, we say that democracy is about human rights. You get my point? So I don't. It's disappointing hearing that from him. And DSS suing Sowore with Meta and Facebook. I think, you know, DSS is a covert organization. I think it's a covert way of trying to regulate the system, regulate these online comment and online publishing, and it's a covert because if you look at what happened in Nepal, I think about last week or 2 weeks ago, you saw, because I think TikTok was banned in that country, and the people came out. I think the former first lady, the ex prime minister of the wife, was molested, you know, taken beating because of the ban on social media. Even when the government, you know, unbanned social media, the protest continued. So I think what government is trying to now do is to use from the back door. They don't want to come out openly to say I ban social media, because they know what they did with social media in 2015. You get my point? They use social media to get to the presidency. I think somebody wrote something about El-Rufai buying laptop for some boys recently, and did blah 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 blah. That was, they are trying to review what they did in 2015 to get there, to get one. So now Sowore now is now like a small screen taken to court. You know, firstly they wrote letter to Twitter, remove this, and they didn't answer. Now, okay, we'll take it to court. Now, probably court will now, if the lawsuit favors them, it's now a good opportunity to say, if you say anything against the president, we take you down. I think that is what is about to happen. And my opinion, I think that is what is about to happen. It's a systematic way of trying to regulate the social media if the court favors them. But if it did not favor them, that means the reputation of the DSS is at risk at this point in time. So DSS should forget about this, as far as I'm concerned, because it's going to backfire.
It's already in court. I guess it's now left for the court to decide what then happens. Stephen, because of time, let's hear your thoughts before we wrap up the program tonight.
Wow. You see, social media, I think I read somewhere, I don't know how factual it is, that there is a law has been passed on the use of social media. How you know where your rights stops is where another person's own starts. Yes, freedom of speech, freedom of
expression.
Yes, expression. It doesn't warrant that you should tell people or talk to people anyhow you want. But what I'm trying to say is this. You see, there are a lot of things on social media that Nigeria need to take advantage of, and the government is keeping quiet. The other day I covered an event on AI policy. There are fragments of policies here and there, but Nigeria don't have a law on AI, how Nigeria can harness the opportunities that exist in the use of AI, how Nigeria can get the multi-trillion naira of money that is in AI worldwide. Nigeria has no law. But the people have been shouting, Nigeria, go make some policies so that Nigerians can at least have access to taking opportunities that exist there. Some other countries have taken steps and they are benefiting from it. But these are the areas that Nigeria the government should be looking at. How they can, not to clamp down, because if you clamp down, others are taking advantage of it. The social media has helped Nigeria. So out of if not social media, a lot of people would have been impoverished and crime would have skyrocketed more than it is now. Because the social media is what the government should look. They want to create jobs for the youth. How the people that are still poor, that are seeing social media, how can the government help? There are people that are novices, people that don't know what to do, but they're interested. Government can initiate programs that can help build people to take advantage of opportunities that exist there. But we are not seeing that. Then there was a time during the time of former president that they want to. I think they banned. Was it Twitter?
They banned Twitter
or Facebook?
Twitter.
They banned it. You see that, and people shouted. This is what people used against the former president in 2015, and now you people want to. What really is that? Well, Sowore is using it in his own way. I know it's supposed to be regulated, and I don't know. There are some laws that will be made. It will be dead ab initio. There are some laws that you make. It will make no meaning. So, the social media regulation. Yeah, I think there's supposed to be regulations guiding social media, the way people use it.
Okay. Well, we've had that discussion today. Well, I think for me, this matter is not personal. I think it's a test of democracy. And also, yes, freedom of expression is not absolute. There should be also a fundamental right guiding it, because if not, we're going to have people prying or going against people's privacy, people's honor. You know, let's not forget what happened in Rwanda, where just freedom of expression led to a genocide in that country. So yes, as we have freedom of expression, let's also not forget that, like you said, where one's right begin is where one's rights begin and end is where another person's also begin. So as we express whatever it is, let's also be wary of what we say to ensure that we do not defame, we do not dishonor, we do not pry into other people's privacy. This is how far we go on today's edition of Matters Arising. Yes, go about to say what is right to make our nation better, as we hope that Nigeria becomes better and be the country of our dreams. And before we wrap up, as we love to say in KAFTAN television, imagine a beautiful world. I am Princess Ekeze Okoli. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.